going on, everybody? In this one, we're going to be checking out this HiKNiGHT H6 Pro. We're going to get into all the details, do a super comprehensive review, and let you know why I absolutely am in love with this electric bike. This thing is freaking dope. So first off, it is a dual motor electric bike. There's not very many of those out there. You've got a motor on the front, motor on the back. This thing freaking flies. It has a top speed of 38 miles per hour and has a run time of up to 90 miles, which is absolutely insane. Now with this thing, you can toggle from single or dual motor. With its single motor, it is going to be a 1500 watt motor. And when it's set up for dual motor, it is going to be a 3000 watt motor. So this thing freaking flies. Now this thing does come equipped with all the awesome bells and whistles that a typical high quality electric bike is going to have. We've got solid disc brake system, solid headlights for night riding. This one has an awesome suspension on the front, and then something that sets this apart as well as it does have a rear suspension as well, kind of through the middle of the frame here. We will show you that here in just a little bit. You've got a nice little storage rack here. Now this electric bike is also a pedal assist, meaning you can set this pedal as the motor goes so that you are pedaling, but the motor is assisting you so you're not using too much energy while pedaling. You can also set this to just pedal like a typical traditional bike. And then you do also have the option of using the throttle without the pedal as well. So this thing is freaking awesome. So it does have a removable battery. You have the key, you can unlock that, and then the battery will come out here. You can charge it that way, take it in with you if you're parking this in a public area. And the battery is what is super expensive with these bikes, so making sure you can take that battery out and transport that with you is key. It's got fully adjustable seat for smaller or taller people. This thing has some massive 4-inch wide tires. Whew, love this thing. But anyway, enough talking. I'm gonna get my helmet on. We're gonna go test this thing out, show you the details that you really wanna see. Now, obviously this thing is going to be awesome for a commuter bike, but if you're also wanting to have a little bit of fun, let's go test this thing out. All right, y'all, so I'm going to be testing it out on this pretty steep hill. Now, it's all grass, so it's going to be an off-road condition here. Bumpy grass. We're going to check it out, see how well this thing performs on this awesome steep hill. So this one is a kind of a longer steep hill. On the other side, it gets really steep, but not quite as long. So we'll test it here on the long portion, and then we'll also test it over on the really steep, shorter portion here in just a bit. All right, so first I'm just going to give it all throttle, and I've got it in the 5th gear, which is the fastest. It really has no issues going up that. Made it to the top, and now we'll come back down. Obviously going down is not going to have any issues, but this thing does take all those little bumps. Granted, they are little bumps, but it takes them really nice, really well, and worked out pretty well there. There's the horn system. All right, now we're going to go ahead, go over to the other side of the hill where it's a little bit steeper. We're going to ride over there and see how well this thing works on the steep portion. So this is the steeper side of the hill. We're going to test it out on there and see how well this thing can mob on that. Again, I'm not going to pedal assist at all. I'm just going to use just the throttle, starting pretty short, close to the hill, and it makes it up the hill again super easily. So long hills, short hills, this thing flies, and I can honestly just feel the way the suspension just takes all those little bumps. So nice. Let's turn this bike a little bit so you can kind of see what I mean by suspension. So it's got good suspension on the front. You can see as I sit and jump there, good suspension on the front, and then I'll try to get the suspension here on the back. You can kind of see it take that suspension really well. All right, so now that we know that this thing performs really well on hills, let's go over to a little dirt bike trail that's over here, and we'll check it out. I'm riding all off-road, so please don't mind my bumpy voice. All right, well, that suspension held up really well for that bigger jump. Obviously, it wasn't a massive jump, but for me, I'm an old man. It's probably about as much as I'm gonna be able to tolerate at this point. But this thing is sick, guys. It's got really good tread on the tires, massive 4-inch tires for extreme grip. Has a really awesome suspense for mountain biking, for going off awesome little jumps. This thing is sick. So we'll go ahead and do a little bit more riding around on this thing, and this thing rides so smooth. Now, I've ridden a couple other dual motor e-bikes before, and the issue with those is they kind of have a pull to them. This doesn't have any pull, so that's freaking sick. What else can I say? Freaking HiKNiGHT H6 Pro, this thing flies. It has great suspension, such a smooth ride. This thing is super fun to ride. Just cruising around, commuting. This thing's super fun to ride out on the trails, mountain biking, all that kind of stuff. So this thing is freaking dope. I highly recommend checking this thing out. I can easily say this is the best e-bike I have ever ridden, without a doubt. The dual motor system, you can toggle from single to dual motor. This thing's got it all, guys. Anything you can think of, check out this HiKNiGHT H6 Pro. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.